Hello,
Hello. How you doing?
chat.
It's me.
It's you, bro. Damn. How early did you wake up to do this?
9 a.m. I try to wake up at 9 a.m. every morning. How about yourself?
Yeah, I was up at like 6, so that
Nice.
might be your 4, I guess.
Yeah. I see
Right on.
you're a Packers fan.
Packers and Pacers forever.
Why is that, if I may ask?
Uh, I hate to say it, but when I was 9, I liked Brett Favre,
Okay. And that
and
was it.
then and the
Your fateful
colors.
meeting with Favre has impacted your entire life,
Yeah, I got tattoos, and then Reggie Miller for the Pacers. I mean,
right?
skinny little dude throwing up threes. That was it. I
Right.
was all in.
And so is this room that you're in, obviously dedicated to your sports fandom? Is any other place in your house like this or just this room?
No, this is the game room, the podcast room. But then I got like a couple tanks with a chameleon,
Nice.
couple frogs. So this is like, I hate the term man cave, but
It is a man cave.
yeah.
Uh, is the chameleon yellow and green?
Yep.
Nice.
But whenever it gets upset, it gets black spots. So you gotta
Oh,
watch out, and it hisses too.
Jesus Christ. All
Yeah.
right. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were capable of that. Interesting. All right. Well,
All right,
thanks for having
so
me on your show.
yeah, hey, hi, hello. This is the Jesse LaSala show. Um, episode whatever the hell it's been. Uh, my guest today is Chad Kultgen. I've been practicing your last name for I guess a week now.
Perfect. You did it perfectly.
I just tried to go off what Will says on the
Yeah.
show. The show Doozy has really gained a lot of popularity. It is the only show created and dictated by an AI. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
To my knowledge, yeah.
So, okay. Oh, first of all, I have to give a shout out to my talent booker, Josh Cunningham,
Oh,
who told me about your idea of going on anyone's podcast for exactly 20 minutes. And
that's right.
have you had any backlash from this or
No,
any terrible experiences?
no, not at all. Not yet, anyway. I don't know. Jesus, I hope there's no backlash. Um, I find it very interesting because I'm always curious about, and I may ask you some questions. I know I'm coming on your podcast, but I may still interview you nonetheless. I'm always curious about why people start podcasts. Uh, so if I may ask, why did you start yours?
Well, see, I started podcasting back in like 2009
Hmm.
because I wanted to interview girls. And it was just
And
like
what?
the easiest way to sort of like talk to a girl was like, "Hey, you want to be on my podcast?" And they'd be like, "What's a podcast?" Because podcasts were nothing back then.
Right.
So it was just like their undivided attention for, 30 or 45 minutes. And then you would post it and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I was on a podcast." And then they would post it and.
Yeah.
But then podcast became like everyone fucking has one. So it's
Right.
like now I feel played.
You feel played by what? The podcast industry,
Yeah,
humanity at large.
there are like 300 million podcasts out there
Yeah.
and no one listens to any of them. I mean, there's like
I
4.
think it's great though that there's that many. That everybody has this kind of creative outlet. It's like making YouTube videos or anything else. As technology gets better and better, we all get the ability to make these forms of art that used to require millions of dollars in a studio or a network or some giant conglomerate behind it saying, okay, we co-sign you. We're going to give you the money to make this movie, make this TV show, do this radio show. I mean, shit, dude, a podcast before podcasting, if you wanted some kind of environment like this where you could interview people and kind of do what you want, an audio format piece of art, you had to literally get some radio station to be like, you can be the guy on the fucking microphone from this time slot to this time slot. Now, literally anyone can do it, which means I think the best shit ever is being produced because the more people you have doing a piece of art or a type of art, the better it gets always, just through iterations, because you're able to see what everybody else is doing, and you can be like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, I'm going to take a little bit of that, a little bit of this, whatever you want to do. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think especially with AI, it's not just podcasts. Like every kind of art is going to be done by literally everyone, like photography now. At a certain point in my lifetime, even, if you wanted to be a fucking photographer for real, you had to go buy like a top of the line fucking camera, know what the fuck you were doing. Photoshop even wasn't, when I was a kid anyway, wasn't a thing. That didn't kind of come around until I was like maybe in college. And so it was like you had to really be good at getting the image in the camera that you wanted to, using whatever kind of tricks you needed. Now we're all fucking photographers. Now we all have cameras in our hands, in our pockets, 24/7, that are better than any fucking cameras that existed when I was a kid.
Yeah, you
And
had
I
to have
think
a
as
dark
as a result,
room and
yeah,
you had to
exactly,
get plastic
exactly.
gloves and shit.
And I think as a result of that, photography is better than it's ever been. And
Right.
I like I said, I think the same will be true of all art forms. Or you look at like music. If you wanted to make an album in like the really early 2000s even, you had to have some record company put millions of dollars behind studio time for you and an engineer and a producer, all that shit, marketing, blah 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 blah. Now if you want to make an album, you go buy a MacBook and you open a SoundCloud account and that's it.
Yeah.
Everyone can do it. And I think as a result, there's just so much music being made now that's so good. You'll never even be able to listen to all the good music because it's coming out constantly.
So, okay, you're on the pro side of AI.
Yeah,
Um, you want to live forever, from what
that's right.
I understand. You want to be frozen?
I am going to be frozen. Yeah.
Okay, so you have like some sort of chip thing or like a serial number on your
I
body?
just wear a medic alert tag that has my serial number on it with the company that's going to freeze my body. So if my corpse is ever found, there's a phone number on it that can be called, and a quick response team will come and begin the process that they call vitrification, where they replace all your blood with plastic and super cool your body down to 0 degrees.
Dude, you're like a fucking Bond villain. Like what made you want to do this and how rich are you to have this procedure done?
It doesn't require that much money. Anyone can do it. You just need a life insurance policy that's payable to the company. So I
Okay.
have a life insurance policy that cost me, probably whatever, 20 or 30 bucks a month. I locked it in at a low rate because I signed up to do this when I was very young. Um, and what made me want to do it? I mean, I like being conscious. I like thinking about things and walking around and taking in new information, assimilating it all, trying to figure out what reality is. That's like my favorite thing to do. And when you're dead, to my knowledge at least, that stops. And I don't want that to stop. I would like to get to the bottom of it, or at least get to a higher level of understanding than I have now. And so I think for that to happen, I've got to essentially extend my consciousness beyond the whatever 70 to 90 years that we're all given.
So this is one of my questions. What happens when we actually die? I mean, obviously no one knows, but
Yeah,
you're
nobody
you're
does know, but
you're taking
I,
the under.
yeah, I mean, look, I think as a species, we don't know shit about reality. We have literally no idea what any of this is, including human consciousness. There are a lot of people who know a little thing, or some people's religion might tell them this is what it is. I think all of those are wrong. Science knows under 1% of what all this shit really is. And a lot of times they fuck it up. A lot of times they're, like, well, the earth is the center of the universe. Actually, wait, we discovered some new things. It's not. The sun is the center of the universe. Actually, wait, we discovered some new things. It's actually not the sun. The sun is just the center of our solar system, and the solar system is spinning around in this giant galaxy with a million other solar systems, so on and so forth.
Whoa,
And
whoa,
even that may be
whoa,
wrong,
whoa,
you
brother.
know? Yeah, well, I don't know about that. Uh, I think our understanding, what we think of as kind of concrete fact about the fundamental underpinnings of reality, I believe will be undermined every 50 years or so. Some new discovery is made in science that's like, well, now we got to rethink things. So even science doesn't know a lot about what's going on, I think, in reality, or certainly with human consciousness. So what happens with you when you die? I don't really know. There are, I've seen and read things that lead me to believe human consciousness persists after death, what in whatever form. I'm not saying it goes to a heaven or a hell or anything, but that it is still somehow around. And certainly philosophically, that's true because we live on in the memories of others for at least a generation or two, or depending on how much of an impact you can make on humanity while you're alive. Maybe it's even beyond one or two generations. You've got people like, obviously, Jesus has been around for a couple of thousand years. So I don't know what happens when you die to your human consciousness. I really don't know. I hope there's something else. I hope it exists in some other state or moves on to some other level of existence, but I have no fucking idea, dude.
Yeah,
But sorry, go
I
ahead.
I gave up on the idea of God and all that heaven and hell shit like way too young. Like I wish I was dumb and happy and could just, oh yeah, if you just do everything right, you go to heaven. Da, 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 da. But I think it was after I took mushrooms for the first time that I was like, nah,
Yep.
dude, this is not it. Like,
That makes sense.
so
Yeah, mushrooms can have that effect. No, dude, I agree. It just none of that ever made sense to me either. There are so many contradictions and stuff in all religious texts, and just the idea that any of these religions could be like the correct one after we've had hundreds of thousands of them exist in the human timeline, and all of the old ones that are not that don't line up with like a contemporary sociological culture have been cast away and determined to be like jokes or mythologies or whatever, but all the contemporary ones are okay. That never set right with me. um but
have you
I
heard of the New Testament though?
yeah, exactly, they changed some things. But all that is like no shade to anybody who believes that stuff. I also firmly believe that like I said, we don't know shit about any of this. So whatever helps you get through the day or whatever helps you kind of perceive this reality in a way that you can handle, if that's a guy up on a cloud with a fucking gray beard, it's great. At this point, like that's as good of an explanation as we got in any other area.
Yeah.
Um, so I
Well,
mean, sorry, go ahead.
my religion is alcohol. That's how I get through the day, you know.
Oh,
So
yeah, whatever you got to do.
what's your biggest vice?
Probably video games. I play way too many of
Really?
them. Yeah, and
Okay, that's probably my second biggest.
yeah. What are you playing right now?
So I'm heavy into sports games, Madden,
That makes
NBA,
sense.
and FIFA,
Yeah.
because I suck at all the other ones.
Interesting.
And also, it's like I'm sort of athletic, but I'm 38 and
Yep.
my
I've been
body's
there.
breaking down.
Been
And
there. That's when I tore my ACL.
see, like, I just renewed my gym membership and I feel like shit today because yesterday I played 3 games in a row and like I woke up today and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Like, so it helps me get out my competitive juices to
Sure.
play some people online and you know, kick their ass or try not to get my ass kicked.
I couldn't agree with you more. I used to play Overwatch semi-competitively in like a little amateur league, and that it's just like an esport, like a first-person shooter esport made by Blizzard Activision. And that kind of scratched that itch when I quit playing baseball competitively, which was like in my late 30s, because I was just every fucking day I'd go out there on the field, some nagging injury, some
Oh,
whatever. I just never felt like 100%. And I just could feel some like major injury coming on. So I was just like, fuck this. I got to quit,
yeah.
unfortunately.
You probably have health insurance though, right?
I do.
Yeah, I don't. Sucks.
Got to get some.
I
Obamacare, man.
I know, dude. Every time I sign up, it's like, you're gay. We don't want you. You don't qualify, something like that.
Huh. All right.
So I only have a few more minutes with you
Yes.
because you have other podcasts to get to, and I have to go to work actually.
Oh, wow.
But
What do you do, if I may ask?
I teach piano lessons.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
How'd you get into that?
uh I was referred to by a former bandmate and they needed people and
Mm,
it's easy. I teach anywhere from like 6-year-olds to 23-year-olds.
nice
And
range.
yeah, it's some of them want to practice, some of them don't want to be there. They're just there because their parents want them to. So, but it's good money. So,
Oh, wow. I
all
wanted to
right.
get
So,
piano lessons when I was a kid. My dad wouldn't allow it.
wow, that's like the opposite of every family in the world. What the hell?
Yeah, he wasn't very into the arts. It was sports and academics or nothing.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Well, both my parents are like, my dad's an architect, my mom's a visual artist, so
Oh,
they were
cool.
like pushing us heavy into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, rapid fire questions. You don't
Okay,
have to answer them if you don't want to.
sure.
What's your credit score?
I have no idea.
That's a good answer. What kind of car do you drive?
Prius.
Okay, smart. What's the biggest age difference from one of your sexual partners that you've ever had?
I don't know.
Yeah, you
I
do.
don't know. I, I don't.
Uh, what was the last really shitty job you had?
God, there have been a few. I mean, Jesus Christ. There have been a few. I will say I'll throw this one out there as the most shitty job I've ever had and also one of the most fun. There was a summer in between two college semesters where I was driving forklifts in a diesel truck warehouse in the middle of the summer in Dallas, Texas. And it was this warehouse, it was like gigantic, but like no air conditioning. And it gets up to 100 and whatever every fucking day. And you just got like fiberglass kind of skylights with the sun beaming down in. It was just horrible. But I worked there with a friend of mine, and all the guys who worked in this warehouse kind of like would hang out with each other and get drunk and shit. And it was like a fun summer for sure that had some crazy stuff happen in it. But that job was just punishing. I remember I used to eat McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese and extra large French fries every day for lunch at that job. And I was in the best fucking shape of my life because I'd wake up,
Wow.
I'd go to the gym, and then I'd go for 8 to 10 hours a day driving these forklifts and hauling big diesel truck parts around and shit, just sweating everything out.
Yeah, it makes sense. I live in Lafayette, Louisiana, so it
Yeah.
is hot as balls out right now. And like even to go to the store where you're
Mhm.
just walking from your car to the entrance of the store
Yeah.
is fucking torture. Um, what was the closest you've ever come to death?
Probably cancer, I would say. Technically. I mean, I've been under 3 or 4 times for various surgeries. So, I mean, that is like a literal kind of simulation of death, but that's under control. Doctors bring you back, anesthesia, blah, blah, blah. I would say having cancer was like, had I not treated it in time, I would be dead.
Yeah. That's all right. You win. You win on that one.
What's yours? What's your closest to death?
Probably just being in a car with someone driving that was really on a lot of drugs, and
Yeah.
it could have happened probably a handful of times. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, nothing like really like hospitalized sort of shit, just
Yeah.
like just chance.
Yeah.
What is your obsession with The Bachelor, and what is the name of the show again? Game of Roses?
Yeah, Game of Roses is my other podcast where we talk about The Bachelor. My obsession with it is I've been a huge sports fan my whole life. Played many sports, like I said, up until my 30s in like a pretty competitive baseball league. And I just love sports. And I used to be like super fucking plugged into MMA for I don't know, a decade or so. And I watched The Bachelor kind of casually with some friends. At a certain point, it started to like click with me that The Bachelor is a sport and there are metrics that you can use to determine best players and strategies. And I kind of like set a goal for myself to try and become an expert in that sport, write a book about it, and then use the strategies that I was coming up with to actually train people to infiltrate the game secretly and see how well they could do with my strategies. And so I've been doing that for the past 3 years, and it's been very interesting. And now, yeah, it's just like a second job, I guess. I coach people to go into the Bachelor and try to win
Holy
it.
shit. Damn, I wish I was younger and not engaged. I could have killed.
Maybe
What's gonna happen with Pizza the movie?
you
Alan and
tell me.
Tina and Lester and
I
them.
have no idea,
Is
dude.
it ever gonna get made?
I mean, with AI, yes, everything will get made eventually, but I don't know when that's going to happen. AI is going to have to get real good real fast for that to happen anytime soon. But hopefully it'll get made. Who knows?
Well, dude, I'm a big fan, and I watch every fucking episode. I love y'all.
Thank
I
you so much.
mean, I think your impressions are better than Will's. I said it. Let him know I
I'll
said
let
that.
him know. He won't like to hear that at all.
Whoa, 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 brother. All right, Chad.
All right, man.
Thank you so much, and God bless you for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Have a good one.
But there is no God.
Yeah, which God. Bye.
Later.